Welcome to season 6. We're here. It's the Guide Life. First show today. Toby Walleye is going to meet Chuck Hassey here on Leech Lake. It's going to be a forward-facing sonar show. We're going to load up the golf cart, head on down to the landing, meet Chuck, we'll catch some walleyes. Show 1, Leech Lake, 112,000 acres full of hungry post-spawn walleyes. We are on the fishing opener week, and we are focusing on walleyes in 10 to 12 feet of water using forward-facing sonar. Today we have Chuck Hassey in the boat. I'm on my way down to the landing now where Chuck's gonna meet me up here at Blue Water Lodge. And Chuck is an absolute tournament phenom right now, one of the hottest anglers in Minnesota. Chuck Hassey guides with Leisure Outdoor Adventures, and he has got forward-facing sonar dialed. Chuck's got a Garmin, I'll have a Lowrance in the boat. He'll talk about tricks, tips for forward-facing sonar, fishing walleyes with jigs, rigs, bobbers. For you, the viewers, of course, to learn a few tips and hopefully be able to catch more on your own. Of course, this is the Guide Life series. It's not just about catching, it's more about our lifestyle as fishing guides. We have a break today. Chuck we scheduled this a month ago, a day before a day off for both of us. He guided yesterday, I was out on the water yesterday. So we get to just go fishing, catch up, so that's gonna be fun. So Chuck's waiting for us out here. I'm just gonna pull up, unload the golf cart, and hopefully we'll catch some walleyes. Of course, fishing guide budget, couple grand. Had a buddy hook me up with a sweet little golf cart. Only lost the keys once so far. Blew in the lake. But, pro tip, easy go golf carts have universal keys. So if you can go to a golf course and steal one, you're back in business. Let's go fishing. $31-incher, baby! Woo-hoo! On the feed. Oh, we got one! I slid out there.
Oh boy.
One of my faves, bottom. So let's get that one back.
We went old school. Finder 19, Zach.
Nice fish, buddy.
Thanks.
That's a good one.
That's a nice one, Jason.
As a football coach,
There we go.
There we go. First nice fish of the day. Down on top of these fish, like you said.
There we go. Big walleye. Look at that beautiful fish. Yeah!
That's awesome. You wanted to go catch a big one?
Oh, what a
Beautiful, old warrior.
Yeah, beautiful.
Heavy too.
yeah. 37. 8 minutes to go. Woo!
The Guide Life with Leisure Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by these great partners.
I know you're a bit hobbled.
Beautiful rig, Chuck. Wow, the 219. You've gone from the tiller life to the wheel life.
I'm still deciding.
Fishing guides must make a lot of money.
Yeah, tons. That's why I'm drinking Dr. Shasta and not Dr. Pepper.
Priorities, right? First time of the year, we just had an opener. You were out here with your kids, your dad, right?
Yep.
Opener.
Yep,
How'd that go for you, Chuck?
it was all right. We had to work at them a little bit. We caught some fish, had a good time. It was a beautiful day. Not a lot of wind. Not your typical opener weather.
Yeah, when's the last time we had 65, 70 degrees, clouds
while.
and sun and wind, everything you want on our opener in Leech Lake?
Been a while.
The lake fish is pretty big when you have a day like that.
Yeah, even with the amount of traffic out here, everyone was pretty well spread out. I think we fished 6 or 7 different spots and pretty much caught fish in every spot. It seemed like everyone was picking one off here and there, so it's pretty good all around.
So we're with Chuck Hassey today in the 219. The show we talked about is forward-facing sonar. Chuck was just out here for opener, had a guide trip yesterday, was also on Winnie, so the season's already rolling for us, the guide life. And I've been out here too a couple times. Chuck Hassey has won the Leech Lake Walleye tournament here on Leech Lake. It's 150 boats, whatever it is. It's a giant tournament. Not once, not twice, 3 times in a row? 4 total?
Not in a row.
3 times
There's
total,
a couple
2 in a
year
row.
gap in there.
2 in a row. And you know, we've talked about forward-facing sonar. Some people love it, some people hate it, but it's here and it's legal. And as fishing guides, we need to use it. As tournament anglers, we have to use it if you want to compete. And so today, with a lot of viewers buying the technology, we're going to break this down both fixed mounts on the bow mount, trolling motor, and we have a portable pack to talk about, and some of the options and setups. And of course, with your fishing and terminal tackle, we'll try to get into Fort Knox here and get a couple tips out of him. I'm sure he's not going to give us it all, but if we can get a couple things just to help you, the viewers, catch a couple more walleyes here on Leech Lake. For Chuck and Toby, this is the Guide Life. Let's go catch them.
Do it.
So around fishing opener here on Leech Lake, it's real common that you'll find schools of walleyes, especially your keeper size fish, in and around sand flats. And we're starting out this morning checking out a sand flat here up in Sucker Bay in that 11, 12 foot of water. And what Chuck's gonna do and he's gonna talk about here is how we go ahead and locate those fish using technology. And side imaging is real popular, and it's important, it's key, because with this clear water, we have overcast today, so the fish may not be as spooky, but with this clear water, you cannot drive over the fish. In fact, when we pan over to Chuck, you're gonna see that he doesn't even have a 2D sonar on in his boat right now. So
yeah, some of these flats are, they can be a half mile long, so it takes a bit of patience. Each day the fish might move around a little bit, so what I usually do is just pull in and we start driving until we see them. Sometimes you land on them right away. Sometimes you might drive for 10-15 minutes. But what I'm looking for is, I mean, that's maybe a single fish there. We're looking for a little pod of them, and then when we start getting into those pods, you kind of have what I call a home area. I'll drive until I drive out of those pods, and then I'll turn around and come back, and with the forward sonar, we'll come back through them and just try to pick them off each, couple pods at a time. So we're just gonna spend a little bit of time here driving, and there's maybe 4 or 5 of them right there until we see what we're looking for.
So Chuck, just tell us about how you run your units, how you set them up, your side imaging, your distance out, your settings as far as how far out you're shooting, and 10 to 12 feet of water.
Each graph or brand can be a little bit different, but I like to run mine at 70 feet. You can run further out, but the further you go, the images become distorted a little bit. So with my personal settings, I like that 70 foot because it gives it a better resolution, and it's a little bit easier to see just with your eyes versus trying to see 150 feet out away from the boat each side. Then you're looking for little specks. So I'm running mine fairly close. It's kind of a cool mount I have this year is this Beat Down Outdoors Ultimate double stack mount. It allows me to adjust the height. When I'm driving, I can drop it down to the bow, and when I'm actively fishing, I can raise it up so that screen is right in my vision with the head of the trolling motor, which is actually my target, or my arrow, if you will, on where that forward sonar is facing. So just makes that line of sight a little bit easier. Oh, he's gonna come up and eat it.
Oh, we got one! Pike?
I don't think so.
That was so cool. I mean, as we talked about, found these fish using side imaging, try to keep it away. Some really good tips there too, moving into the wind. And we're on the board. That's a nice Leech Lake walleye right there. 18, 19 incher. Beautiful fish.
So in the past, what we used to do is when you get in a school of fish like that we marked, is we drive past them into the wind and drift back through them. Maybe a long line in a Lindy or a long line in a leech. I'll put this fish back quick. And drift over the top of them. With the zebra mussels and the water clarity now, there's a pretty decent chance once you put that boat over the top of them, those fish are gonna tear off. So slow, sneaky approach into the wind, get them before they know you're there. That's been the name of the game the last couple of years now, at least, in these bigger, clearer bodies of water.
So around fishing opener in Minnesota, you know, you're typically everybody talks about a spot tail shiner, and every year there's the mad rush to try to find shiners. I know I drove about an hour just to find shiners this year. Chuck did the same thing. And when it comes to shiner fishing, typical lighter, your favorite color, but a lighter 1/8 ounce jig is typically a go-to in shallow water, clear zebra mussel lakes. Nose hooked, lip hooked, or even through the gills, out the mouth, through the back type shiner setup, where you can either snap it or work it a real finesse orientated. I have mine set up so I can drag it on the bottom. Monofilament, 6-pound test line, jig and shiner. Chuck's got his on braid for forward facing and casting. He gets a little bit better feel out of it. That's one option. But leeches on clear water lakes, especially when it's sunny out, can be real effective. And for that setup, we have, if it's calm, today we have a little wind, so I'm gonna have to switch it, but just a typical slip float setup. We have a bobber and a plain hook for a leech. When you find these fish in forward-facing sonar or side imaging, you can toss your bobber onto them, and when they're off just a little bit and you gotta finesse them, it's hard to beat a bobber. And when they're tight to the bottom, same setup with a leech, same kind of hook, but this is just a Lindy rig, not trolling it traditionally, but pitching it more like a Carolina rig in the bass world, casting it out and slow reeling it back through them. And we'll probably catch fish on all three of these today, but those are the three setups I bring on fishing opener.
He's got it.
Got a fish?
Yeah. Not a big one.
Netter?
Yeah, maybe.
Got the clam ready. Another guide fish.
Just an eater. Look at how clear that water is.
Yeah. That's just your point, though. I mean, this clear water, you can't get on them. Blue and white seems to be the color, huh?
Blue and white, clear water, not a lot of crazy colors or anything like that. Just keep it basic.
Natural. Just here in the Chuck show, trying to find a few fish by myself. Blind squirrel. But, you know, there's a lot of options with forward-facing sonar. I have a portable pack here. Mine happens to be a Lowrance unit. But with mounts now, you can find all kinds of different options. You can mount your portable units in the boat. You can take them ice fishing with you. I switched to a bobber setup here. Give her a little shot. See some fish out about 40 feet. See if I can get them to bite. But Chuck's up there running one doesn't mean that I have to sit in the back and do nothing. I have a portable unit back here, set it up on the side of the one track system, and works pretty good. Hopefully we'll get a fish to bite here. There's one looking at it.
Fish where the fish are. That part ain't rocket science. In terms of walleye production, Leech Lake is best. Trapper's Landing Lodge on the south shore of Leech Lake has the finest lodging on the entire lake. With renowned angling expert Josh Bullivant managing the property, Trapper's Landing is the place to be, opening weekend and all season long. Fish where the fish are. Stay at Trapper's. Call for reservations 218-836-2500.
Stop into Ray's Sport and Marine today to check out our remaining 2022 in-stock inventory or place your 2023 order with guaranteed price lock until September 1st. After September 1st, prices are subject to change, so now is the time to reserve your new boat. From tillers to side consoles and full windshield models, we sell them all. Our sales and service team is here to help you get on the water. Ray's Sport and Marine, 896 Northeast 1st Street, Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
Just to speed up the search game, what we're doing is I'm back here, started it up, and I'm just gonna drive, looking inside imaging, and Chuck's up there panning left and right, trying to find them, instead of wearing our battery, going through the juice, speeding up the process a little bit, using the combination of the big motor, and he's using forward-facing sonar. It's a 1-2 punch.
That's a big one.
He just gave me the go-ahead stop sign. The universal stop! Now he's gonna catch one. Let's see if it works.
We got a thinker. We got a thinker. Nope. Maybe. Sisters. Come on.
Eat it.
There, eat it.
Oh, there, come on. Nibbling, nibbling. Chuck, get him. Oh, bobber fish! Method 3, 40 feet, 45 feet away, as close as we could get. On the bobber. Talk about your setup there, Chuck. You have a jig, I had a Lindy rig, and talk about maybe the difference.
Yeah, and each day is different, but some days not allowing that leech to swim around on a plain hook and just getting something a little heavier like a jig where you can just plop it right in front of their face until they can't say no to it anymore.
What's
That
he
one's
got,
one of
bonus?
those. It's that cold water.
What are those airplanes with the satellites on top of them? I think he's got his own forward-facing sonar. He scans for boats. See, that comes up. This shoots out sonar. He looks for boats. But we tricked him.
We had our force field on. Yeah,
Sweet.
so some days jigs work, just plain dull colors again. Days where it's flat, calm, seems like maybe the plain hook and letting that leech swim a little bit may work better just to entice them a little bit. We've got plenty of clouds and a little bit of breeze today, so just plopping it right in front of their face is what tricked that one. They didn't like that. There's actually 3. Oh, you had to have just got bit.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's a better fish.
Okay. Shoulders?
Well, it's not huge, but it's probably in that 20-inch range anyways. Maybe not. You hit him going the other way sometimes, but it feels decent staying down.
Coming to this side.
Good guide would turn the boat. Oh, don't do that. There he is right there. He's not that big. Yes, another nice one.
Chunky.
Chunky monkey. Oh, one's gonna need some, threw a Lindy rig out there. Another one, chased it right to the bottom, caught it. Again, same deal. I know it sounds like a repeating story, but we have clear waters. We have good conditions today with wind, little current, clouds, overcast, so they're not as spooky, but many ways to catch them. Jig and shiners work. Sometimes the schools work just differently. Chuck just got one on a leech under a bobber. I just put a minnow on and pitched it out there at this one again, and we watched him chase it down, gave it a little line, boom, fish on.
Just trying to stay out of the way now.
Here's a little trick to getting a deep hooked fish out. Go through the gills with the pliers, find that hook, and just turn it instead of ripping up on it, and it pops right out. No blood. Fish is good to go back. Little guide trick. A lot of people reach in from the top and they end up pulling that, and it rips their stomach out. And if you can see the hook at all, if you just go through the gills like I showed, and you're actually from the side, you're just turning the hook out versus pulling on it the other way. When you're reaching down in there, you're yanking in, and you're not allowing to turn the hook out. So you want to get in from the side of the gills, and you don't want to grab it here. You want to grab it right up by the knot and just turn that out of the gullet, and it'll come out every time. Real important with bobber fishing too, because they do swallow it quite often. A little conservation, keep these lakes healthy. We're taking a little break. We started raining. We're off of Leech Lake. Obviously this week we are showing forward-facing sonar for these spooky walleyes on zebra mussel lakes, and we're using forward-facing sonar. I'm a Lowrance guy. Chuck used Garmin. There's also Humminbird options, a lot of different options. So we pulled into Reed Sporting Goods here in Walker, Minnesota, found Lee. Lee's gonna walk us through kind of the base model, starting points. For those of you that haven't yet, maybe on the fence about getting one versus not getting one, there are lots of options out there. And Lee's gonna just kind of walk us through the low-end price point units that you can get started with forward-facing sonar. Lee, what do we have here?
Well, sure, Toby. What we got, I mean, basically with Garmin, we've got a portable unit right here that has everything you need. It's a 9-inch screen, your LVS 34, which is your live scope transducer, your black box, everything else, all set up with a pole for your boat. You're going to be at around $3,400.
Nice. And so that's kind of what I was running today in the boat, a Lowrance option with forward-facing sonar that mounts right in the side of the boat in the sport track. So that's a Garmin. What else do we have, Lee?
Absolutely. You can do the same thing, 9-inch screen with Lowrance. You start out with just their Elite FS series. You're going to be at about $900. Their Active Target 2, which is going to be in that $1,700 range, and a pole system. And that's not portable, but everything can be mounted hard in the boat. You're set to go. Poles about an extra $350. There's many different options in live sonar poles.
And Humminbird has an option too now,
Humminbird
right?
absolutely does. They have Mega Live. Mega
Okay.
Live, kind of the same type of deal. You can use it in anything with a DI Plus version, so base model. You can buy it without a transducer. You can buy a 9-inch Mega DI, about $1,000. You can buy their Mega Live transducer, which is going to be about $1,500. And then once again, you're looking at a pole system to run it with.
And the beauty of a pole system is you can go ahead and use that in ice fishing too.
Absolutely.
You got the battery, charge it up, take it with you wherever you go. So pontoon,
Yep.
boat, take it with you wherever you want to go. So Chuck has it, I have it. We have it fixed mounted on the front of our trolling motor. So somebody that needs to do that buys a new graph. Do you have everything for accessories too to mount the boat?
We sure do. We've got everything from Beatdown, which is a newer version pole that we've got, heavy duty, best of the best. We've got Brew City, we've got Fin Gear, got a lot of different options. And then they also have different options as far as your ice poles go. So it's unlimited right now.
So a lot of options, ice fishing, summer, portable, fixed mount, a lot of options for you, whatever you want. Bottom line is if they come see Lee at Reed's, they'll take care of you.
Absolutely, we've got everything you need.
Perfect.
We're out here today and we've got this Maluna unhinged cooler, made in the USA, made right here in Minnesota, and this thing is absolutely amazing. Last thing we want to worry about in the morning is making sure that we have enough ice in the boat. We know that when we fill up our Maluna on the start of the week, that towards the end of the week, we're still going to have cold ice inside of there. Oversized handles, they're lightweight, easy to haul around, plenty of room, and these things are top notch. You want a cooler that'll keep ice for several days on end, these Maluna unhinged are where it's at.
Reed's Family Outdoor Outfitters is the #1 ice fishing headquarters. We have everything you need, from today's firearms to the latest fishing electronics and the hottest footwear and outdoor apparel. We only carry the best brands at the best prices. Have a question? No problem. We have the most knowledgeable team in the business, ready to answer your call personally 7 days a week. Whether you're visiting us in Walker, Minnesota, or touching your screen, with our state-of-the-art distribution center, we can get you gear when you need it fast. Cast or blast, Reed's has the best service, best advice, and best price, guaranteed.
So being on Leech Lake with Leisure Outdoor Adventures, we have a crew of 12 fishing guides, but we're spread out. We have guys in Brainerd, we have guys here, core guys here on Leech Lake, we have guys in Vermilion. Jeff is up on Lake of the Woods, does a few trips up there. But our guide service is pretty unique in that we truly are a family. We have a group of people that are passionate about fishing. We're good educators. We teach clients in the boat what we're doing. We explain what's going on. It's not purely about catching fish, but we have top-end fishing guys. We got guys like Chuck. We got Jeremiah Pipcorn that's won a tournament just recently. We have guys that are cutting edge, have the best equipment, rods, tackle, electronics, boats, everything in working order. And we communicate. We talk about, today we're fishing a spot that I found just after opener, you know, it was a little bit away from other boats. And we're gonna go to another spot now. It's a big fish spot that maybe Chuck has saw some fish on here the other day, and we're just gonna put this all together and we communicate. And that's the advantage of a guide team versus an individual fishing guide, is we truly are networking, whether we're on Leech Lake or Vermilion with Justin and Jason up there, or in the Brainerd Lakes area with Tim Hansky and Jeremiah and Nick Miltimore.
Cass Lake, Winnie.
Yep. And along with our core group of 12 people, we also have some top of the line tournament anglers that help us out on different lakes and around the area. So we've been around for 13 years now, and we're experienced, and every year we get a little bit better and we stay up to date with technology, and we truly live the guide life. You said he ate it before your bobber moved. That was so cool. Have you done this before?
First day.
Eater?
Yeah, I think so. A little better.
Nice average size fish up here.
Yeah.
And the clam! Fat, healthy fish. I'm gonna let you do that while I catch the other one.
Good. 19 and a half. Somewhere right in there. Good fish regardless.
What's nice? Hey, let's see. Let's see how close you are with your guide. What's nice? That's not so nice, but what's nice about these nets is they have a ruler right on them. So you can check
Think I'm close?
I think it's gonna touch 20.
Hold on. There's the end right there. 19 and 3/4, 20
on the aim
inches.
scale.
Yep. You can see the bugs here. This is kind of just a muddy water area, muddy bottom area where these bugs hatch from, and just a traditional, maybe week or two after opener when things start warming up a little bit, we get these bug hatches and the fish move in, and you can see it in their mouths a lot of times. They've got bugs all over on the inside. So this area here will probably stay good for another week or two.
one's a good one. Using the portable pack out of the back here while Chuck's doing hot laps. And camera guy Joe says, hey, there's some over here. So threw the old Lindy rig again with the Leech this time, about 80 feet out, and just trolled it, which is something that I've noticed too works, is you can throw your Lindy rig past a school of fish and troll traditionally, and that angle then just brings them right back through him. 19.
Nice one. Job, Tob.
20.
We'll get your seat wet for you there.
I got blackfish. I'm good. Yeah, there is. You can see there's bugs on there, all over his roof of his mouth. He wasn't getting off. Got a pliers. There we go. Same setup as before with the Lindy rig. This time I threw on the old trusty Leech. Another beautiful Leech Lake walleye, casting a Lindy rig. Again, using side imaging, using forward-facing sonar. This time I'm pitching that live bait rig to him, and I actually allowed, Chuck was trolling, and I, instead of reeling at that time, I just let the drift happen. But we never actually went over those fish, nor would have we. So I just allowed us to drift, but I cast it past the school, let it drag through them. That worked out pretty sweet.
Oh, he's gonna come up and eat it.
You're on your trolling motor.
Bobber's down. Line's wrapped around the end of my rod. No, he's not. He's okay.
Just like that. Will work for fish. Think I wave this thing around enough? Feel good?
Feels all right.
Better than 19?
Yeah. Shooting cormies on pelican?
Yeah. I saw somebody messaged on the Facebooks that, what's with all the shooting going on in the lake? That's a nice one. Heck yeah. Nice proper Leech Lake walleye. In the bag. Nice work, Dad. On Bob. Oh yeah. That's
Yes,
a
sir.
healthy fish. We just moved. We beat up on some guide fish, and we're like, we like to get a big fish or two for to close our show out. Continue with forward-facing sonar. We talked about where we've seen some bigger fish, and again, back to networking. Saturday on opener, I slid out to the spot where we're at now, and there was some big fish down here. We caught a few, and we decided to come try here before we go try Chuck's big fish spot. And
First one we threw at.
This first one we threw at worked out. That's probably like a 25-incher, 24. Beauty.
Healthy.
So again, forward face, we're a little deeper, but it's still more effective to not go over the fish, even in 15 to 20 feet of water. And with a bobber or Lindy rig or a jig and a shiner, again, we just pitched out at it and watched the fish eat.
And a lot of those fish, they've told us kind of today already what they want. That's one of the most, I guess, aspects that I use as a tool the most, how fish react to different baits, higher in the water column, on the bottom, how they react to a red tail, how they react to a leech, any of that. You can tell when a fish doesn't hesitate to come up and eat right away, that's a pretty good indication that most of the fish in the system are gonna eat the same thing. So that's gonna allow you to shorten up your presentation as far as experimenting and all that. Once you find what works, stick with it.
Absolutely, and not only on top of that, just to piggyback on that, we went through different baits too, and
Right.
You were talking about water, the depth of the fish, the suspended off the bottom or on the bottom, and it gives you an idea what to start with. They're tight to the bottom. If you're going to bobber fish, you're going to lower it down, or maybe that's where a jig and a leech or
Correct.
a lindy rig, or let your jig and shiner sit in the bottom a little bit more in the morning. This morning right away they weren't super active, and
They're a
now
little moody, yeah.
yeah, the water's starting to warm up. We're moving on in the day, and that's typical with opener. Is right away in the morning you can catch them, in the evening you can catch them. But as far as that day bite goes, a lot of times that afternoon when the sun's out and the water warms up just a couple degrees,
Even
we find,
just a degree or two
Yeah.
might make all the difference.
yeah, maybe we'll get a bigger one, maybe we won't, but if not, it's been a great morning.
Well, we just got off the water here. It's starting to rain a little bit, but as you can see from today, it's absolutely crucial to not spook the fish that you're fishing. Again, clean, clear water. Fish are highly pressured. They're very, very spooky. So being able to target them before they know that you are there, that you are present, is going to be vital for your success.
And with technology, there's forward-facing sonar, but just as deadly at times in finding the fish, especially, is side imaging. In our next show, coming up here in a couple of weeks when we film it, but the next show that you're going to see, viewers at home, it's going to be just utilizing side imaging, not forward-facing sonar, but finding the same type of fish, same schools, just utilizing side imaging, and how you can position your boat utilizing that technology to have success. So that's it for this show. We're looking forward to another awesome season, season 6. We're going to have walleye fishing, bass fishing, hopefully some pan fishing, some muskie shows. We're going to bring it all to you here on our YouTube channel. Please remember to like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We love doing these shows, but it's the viewers, the followers that make this possible. And again, thank you to all our sponsors for supporting our show.
Leisure Outdoor Adventures would like to thank all their sponsors for their support in making the Guide Life happen.